Fallen Angels #2, Brian Edward Hill, Kredinsky. This is fantastic book. The art, but the writing, fantastic. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Long Box Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now, Fallen Angels #2, written by Brian Edward Hill. Kredinsky is doing the art. To be straight up front, art is, to me, it's not good at all. It definitely needs some work. Now, granted, there are some panels in here that are really pretty good, but the overall tone of it is just, I don't like the art. I have a hard time figuring out who's saying what when, because the artist keeps zooming in on the face or the lips or the eyes, and I just, is that Psylocke or is that X-23? I don't know. The only one I do know is Cable because of the cross on his eye, but I have no idea. So it makes it a little hard, and it's dark. So sometimes I don't know who's doing what, when. So that kind of distracts a little bit from it for me. But the writing itself and the story has been fantastic. So remember the last issue, we find out Psylocke has a daughter. We find out Apoth is out there, which is a technological virus god that's creating some drug called Overclock, and they were using it on children, and they had caused like red and blood coming down, which is really kind of interesting because it's the same look that we get on the Summoner over in X-Men. So I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with each other. At least that's not what they're saying right now, but it's just kind of reminiscent of that. So we start out with Psylocke. Psylocke is talking to a guy, and she's with the Triad, and she's kind of, hey, you need to run. Do you have anybody you love? Anybody you need to take with you? And he's like, no, I'm alone in the world. And she's like, well, here, drink this. She goes to hand him a glass of whiskey, and she like smashes the glass in his face, stabs him through the chest. His guards run in. She chops one guy's hand off, and she's like, she says very clearly to the dude, you and I will never be free. So, her as a character, part of the Triad and Yakuza, she's like, I will always be a slave to this thing. I can't be free. You and I can't be free from this. We're always going to be trapped in this thing. And so she ends up killing this dude. She hits another guy. She throws the sword. Actually hits him through the hand. Then she rides another guy out the window and down the building. Now this was actually a really pretty good panel. Again, not my cup of tea per se, but I liked the overall, part of that panel. Then we get back to Krakoa. We're back in the present, and Krakoa and Psylocke Psylocke and X-23 are talking. And again, we have a really good conversation between two characters, and we see some really good depth in these characters here. And so she asked Laura. She's like, Laura, what is about trust, right? And do you trust? Do I have your trust? Yes, you do. Well, then ask me anything. And she says, well, there is a part of me that not many people can understand. I pretend it's not there, and I smile, and I'm nice. And she said, but there is an anger in me, a rage. I give up, and I have given up any hope that anybody else could possibly understand it. So, this Laura has this rage. I know, being a clone of Wolverine and understanding Wolverine has this berserker rage. And remember that being played on. This again, Laura's like, I have that same thing. I have this rage, and nobody can seem. I've given up any hope that anybody else could ever help me with this. But we can know. Maybe Psylocke can, because Psylocke has kind of that same thing going on with her, and maybe she can help. And so you see the character building there, and this trust, a relationship being built. And then we get over to Cable. Now, if you remember my review of X-Men #2, if you saw it, Cable was like the comedic relief, and that really did not sit well with me. I didn't like it. I don't prefer that. I don't think Cable is a comedic relief. And when Brian Edward Hill does this Cable here, this is the Cable I think is real, and that is the real character of Cable. She goes, clearly you hate this, but you keep putting yourself next to it. Now, he's standing next to a fire, and everybody's dancing, partying, and having a great time except for Cable. Cable's kind of standing there. He has this drink, and he's just kind of there. And he says, I'm waiting to feel what they feel, thought it might click. And that to me is very reminiscent of a warrior, somebody that's come back from war. Because if it did, I'd be able to let things go, let wars not matter, but they still do. I look up over clock and found something. So again, he's like, hey, I'm just trying to feel something. I'm trying to feel what they feel. and so maybe these things won't matter anymore. The wars won't always be present. I won't always be feeling like I'm in the middle of a battle. I'm in the middle of a war. That same kind of idea that, I have veterans as my brothers, my father, and listening to them talk, you come back from that. And it's hard to reintegrate into society. It's hard to reintegrate into having parties and having a great time because you're on that edge. These things matter. Always looking for threats, always watching what's going on, who's doing it, and you can never relax. You can never just let go. It's always this tight ball of something's about to happen. I've got to be prepared. I've got to watch. I've got to be alert. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. It all matters, and the war is always present, and that is what Cable is. Cable is the warrior from the future, right? He's always been fighting a battle against Apocalypse, and here he is living on the island of Apocalypse, right? This dude has got to be balled up tight. And so, like they're saying, him walking around saying, "Hey, what's up, Dad?" And do the others just have sex? No, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's not Cable. That's Cable. And I thought that was very well done. I really enjoyed what Brian Overhill did there, and how he's writing Cable. Cable's like, "Hey, I followed Overclock. There's a city in Brazil that has a slave camp, and they're testing this drug on people, and especially children." Yeah, excuse me, I still got a little bit of cold. And she's like, "Well, we can't go there." And she says, I'm sure it is, but every time we leave Krakoa, we risk turning it against us. So I'm like, when they leave the island, there's a possibility Krakoa won't let them back? Is that what happened to Kitty Pryde? I don't know. Did Krakoa turn against her for some reason? And now she's worried about the island turning against her. And it's something that Cable's like, "Fine, I'll just do it myself." Again, very Cable. Off he goes. I'm going to go handle it. And then you have Dazzler come up around the party. She's talking to Psylocke. And she's like, "Hey, can't blame an entertainer for wanting everyone to be happy. There's joy here. Embrace it." And then Psylocke says, "Joy doesn't make everyone happy." Now, that's a very, very good statement. I mean, we always get mixed up. There's a difference between joy and happiness. There's a difference between joy and sadness. Joy is a state of being. Happiness and sadness are emotions, things that you feel. Joy is something that you are. You're joyous. You have that feeling. Even in the times of sadness, you can still have joy. I know it's weird, but you can. You can be a joyful person and still be sad at the same time. And not the same things make people happy, make them joyful. It's not necessarily the same thing. There's things that can make you happy, and you're short-lived, emotional, happy, and then there's things that give you joy, put you in a state of being of joy. And there's a difference there. And that's what, like you're seeing Psylocke point that out. Not joy doesn't make everyone happy. You're right. I can be joyful and not be happy. They're not the same thing. And so that was I thought that was very well done. And she goes, "Yes, I can use a friend." Which I also thought was, very cool. Psylocke's been locked up mentally in her own body with Betsy and not really have a friend. She had somebody take control of her. So I can see her saying, I could really use somebody in my life that would be my friend. Then we go to back to Japan in the past. Psylocke is hunting down the dude's wife from before, and she good fight scenes here. Fighting with the guy with the motorcycle. Stabbing through the chest, chopping the arms. She likes to do it a lot. Looks like she chopped somebody's head off. It's brutal. And then she gets to the wife and she's like, "Hey, you need to run. You need to hide. Here's some money. You turn it in, cash, and take care of you and your baby." Now, it says later that they did find her and they killed her, but she never gave Psylocke up. And again, that adds to that emotional baggage that Psylocke has. So she is, all these things that's remembering. These are things that really bother her and make her want to have this redemption. She wants to be able to redeem herself. She feels like she's done all these things and now she needs to make it right. Now she can make it right because she was stuck with Betsy controlling the body. Now she has control of herself again. Maybe because she should start making things right. And then we see Sinister being Sinister, got to make a deal. And then we get the whole idea about the butterfly, which is good because this is a question I had in the first issue. Butterfly. Betsy's psychic ability to always manifest in a butterfly wings around her face. And then now we see Psylocke, who has very deep ties to butterflies. But for Betsy, like I said, it's a thing of beauty. And for her, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of my suffering, what was done to me, and how I was changed. So she went from a caterpillar to a butterfly. She was changed, and I keep the butterfly so I can make it mean something else. So how she was trained from a child, and they took her baby away. All these things happened to her. She changed into a, they called it changing a butterfly, but now she wants to change butterfly into something else. She wants to be redeemed from that thing. But Betsy was always about beauty. It was beautiful, but for Psylocke it means something totally different. It represented the suffering and how she was going to change all that. And so I thought that was really cool. And then she goes over to Cable and to X-23, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna go together, but we're gonna make a deal. X-23, I can help you with your rage. Cable, I can help you with war. I can help you get past that, and I need both of you to help me with goodness." She wants to be redeemed again. Like, I want to be redeemed. I don't know how to be good. I was never trained to be good. Good's not in me, right? Or that's how she feels. And so she wants, hey, I can learn how to be good and goodness from the two of you. And we'll leave tonight to go help the people out there in that camp in Brazil. So we get them in Brazil. Cable does a sweep. Supposedly we're doing a sweep, psychic sweep type thing. And X-23 is like, yeah, it's all like it. She jumps and pushes right away. Now, the panel here is really great. We got laser beams coming down. We see the motion, the speed. We don't have to worry about faces or any of that fine detail. It's from a further away shot, which is really good. I enjoyed that because it really gave the dynamics of the action. And I could tell who did it, sort of, by the conversation. And then we see Cable's like, why didn't I see it now? Questioning himself, wondering, I should have seen that. I should have done this. Good stuff. And he jumps out of the way, and then we get a great, this actually made me laugh. This was good. We have Psylocke say, get behind me. And X-23 is like, I was about to say the same thing to you. Yeah, I love that. Because, here Psylocke's like, the adult, I'm gonna protect you too. And X-23 is like, I heal. Like from almost anything. So that was very cool. We see Cable shooting, and then we see this big monstrosity thing. So definitely looks like it's a tied up Pathos in some way. So that was very cool to me. This issue was a great issue. Very much recommend. If you're not on this, you need to get on this. I believe this is one of the only 3 I think it's going to be sticking around for a while. That I'm definitely going to be sticking around and buying for a while. Some of the others are just, in fact, Excalibur's already off my pull list. So I really enjoyed this. I recommend this. Brian Everall, you're doing a great job. Krudinsky, I'd rather have a different artist. I'm sorry. No ill will to you, but I don't like it, and I have a hard time following it sometimes. It's really dark, and we have 2 X books that are really dark. I don't want that. 1 X book is fine. 2, just, but he did some good panels in this. There were some really pretty good panels in here that I enjoyed. Just like the last issue, there's a couple good panels in there I enjoyed. But here it's just overall, it kind of takes away from, I have to go back and read it again. Okay, did she say, who said that? Was it Psylocke or X-23? I don't know. They both have red lips. I can't tell which is which. So that, I didn't like that. But the writing itself makes up for it. Definitely should be getting this. So it's a recommend. I enjoyed it. And hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time here in the Long Box.